Hey guys, BTR Plumbing here, and today I am here with my 1994 elongated Kohler Wellworth Lite toilet. I had gotten this toilet with OCC Plumbing and Restorations. I can't remember off the top of my head where we got it, but he had it for a while, and with our last visit, or actually Toilet Productions had brought it back with him when he came to visit me. So thank you to OCC Plumbing and Restorations and Toilet Productions. I've always kind of liked these toilets for the design. However, the performance is absolutely horrible. And what's sad is these can't even flush a golf ball because the trapways are so tiny. I mean, I don't know how well it'll pick up on camera, but if you see, these two of my fingers is almost the entire outer diameter of the trapway. So these are horrible performers. They really can't flush much of anything. But I do like the way they look. I've always thought they were kind of cool, and they kind of remind me of a 1.6 Kohler Kingston. I have this toilet here set up on a mid-tank, and it doesn't really make the flush any more powerful, and I don't think adding more power to this toilet will improve performance whatsoever, which is not surprising. It kind of just flushes and kind of sort of sounds like a 1.6 Kingston when it has when the flush reaches the blowout point. But here is a flush. I'm just going to press and release the handle. Obviously, this is a residential toilet, and the tanks Kohler had designed for these toilets are kind of tall. They look like a normal Wellworth tank, but they're slightly skinnier and a lot taller. Here is the logo on it. It's in pretty good shape, not faded or scratched or anything. The overall condition of this toilet is pretty good. I'm sure OCC Plumbing Restorations took some time to clean it up and make it look nice. But for the next flush, once the tank fills up all the way, which is about to be overfilled, I'm going to hold down the handle for this flush. So here is a flush with the handle being held down. Now, if the trapway was a little bit larger and had a slightly smaller siphon jet and bigger rim jets, I think this would be a good toilet, especially on like a mid-level tank set up like this, or even on flushometer. But with that tiny trapway, these things are just not very good whatsoever, and I would definitely not want something like this in my bathroom ever. It may be good as a urinal, but what's crazy is, let me kind of show y'all with this rock here. Here's a Kohler Dexter. You can kind of see how big the trapway is compared to this rock. Obviously, this is the outer diameter. The inner diameter would be a little bit smaller, but you can see how the rock looks compared to this trapway. If I take the same rock and put it to the trapway on this, they're almost exactly the same. Hopefully, y'all can kind of understand what I'm trying to point out here, but literally the trapways at its smallest point is probably the size of this Dexter trapway, which is absolutely crazy for a toilet. That's why I say these are not very good whatsoever. But now I'll do a close-up flush, and I'll just press and release the handle. I do like the flush. I think this toilet would almost be more interesting if it had a swirl with this type of blowout flush. Even on their gravity-fed tanks, they tend to have a bit of a blowout flush. They don't last very long, but these are not the type of toilets to just fill up with water, swirl, or fill up and then go down and siphon. They kind of usually just have a continuous flush until the flapper closes, which I honestly kind of like how these toilets flush, but again, these are not good performers at all. Obviously, if this were mounted on, the tank was mounted onto the bowl properly, I don't think it would splash, but I'll do an extra close-up flush here, and you can see that siphon jet causes a lot of splashing when the toilet is flushed. But obviously, this is on a mid-level tank, which is probably what causes that. I don't know how much of that y'all could see, but water definitely splashes up a little bit. You can see there's a couple little spots on the rim here. All this water is leaking from those gaskets because it's not mounted to anything. Those pipes are literally just squishing those tank gaskets to the bowl. But the tank should be just about full, and it is. And I'll give y'all another flush. Here we go. I kind of had a weird flush. I think the flapper had decided to close a little early. So the tank's probably just about overfilled again. I'm going to hold down the handle for this flush. Here we go. Overall, other than the fact that these toilets are far from great performers, I think it's still a pretty cool design, but that's just in my opinion. But yeah, I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, leave y'all's comments down below. And as always, I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.